Harp, what's your reaction to this trade?
It's just a little baffling, Elise, that they would trade Robertson this far away from the deadline and not get more of a, I guess, blue chip prospect, high level minor leaguer type of return. I heard from two scouts. One says these guys are high ceiling guys, but they're so young, they're years away from the major leagues. And look, the Mets all along that Steve Cohen has said he wants to build a farm system. So maybe in the long run these guys work out, but for the short run starting in 2024, you would think they want guys that are going to be ready to refill, especially in the pitching. The other scout said he thought they would get somebody more like what the Cubs did last year when they traded Robertson for Ben Brown from the Phillies, high-level pitching prospect who's in Double-A, Triple-A right now. So they didn't do that. But, I mean, obviously these things, you never know how they turn out. But I would have thought they would wait longer unless you have a more of a return that's more certainty, I guess. That's what you'd be looking for. At least I would be.
Yeah, my first reaction is that the season is over. This is now a signal that they are going to sell other guys as well. And look, I mean, what chance do they have really to make the playoffs? The bullpen was already one of the worst parts of the Mets, had been frustrating all season, and now they traded the one piece in there that was ultra reliable in David Robertson. So look, I mean, I think we're going to see some more guys go here. And you're right, Harper. It's baffling that they didn't wait a few days to see what else might have been out there. Look, I mean, you're right. These guys could be down the line, when they're ready to be major leaguers. Great players, and that's a possibility. But they're playing in the Florida Complex League right now. That's rookie ball. They're years away from the major leagues. So if you're going by the Steve Cohen 3 to 5 year window, these guys don't figure into the end of that window. So how are they getting there? How are they going to make that happen? How are they going to be better in 2024 now going forward? And it's hard to see it from the return on this trade. And, not that this might not be one of the great trades in Met history. Who knows? Maybe this is the reverse of Nolan Ryan at one point.
Well, we can say for sure Mets fans aren't happy. They're down on Billy Epler already, so they're looking for something you can sink your teeth into, I guess, as a return. Because as you said, once you sell off Robertson, it's over. I mean, you're signaling that we're not trying to win, because without Robertson in that pen, you don't have a guy that can close out games with any consistency.
So that's then what I'm going to ask. How do you manage the bullpen now that Robertson's not a part of it?
I mean,
you got big outs, and those 3 outs you can't take lightly.
Absolutely. I mean, they're too thin down there as it is because of the Diaz injury that put Robertson. He's done a great job.
Even before the Diaz injury, to me,
yeah, they were thin.
They were one guy short.
And that's why Robertson was in this position.
That was my biggest knock on Billy Epler. He didn't do enough for this pen, even if Diaz had been there. But without him, Robertson, he did a great job as the closer. But now you're talking about, so you got to slide basically Ottavino becomes a closer. Maybe Raley, who closed tonight, maybe he can do that. But then again,
who's taking their job?
Yeah, who's the 7th and 8th innings? You've got guys who can't handle, at least haven't done it to this point. So, but once you sell Robertson, you're telling the fans it's over for this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you, Harp. Where are they going to find guys to be competitive at the back end of that pen now, other than Raley and Ottavino, who do have closing experience, and that's fine. But look, I mean, through the course of the year, you know how combustible bullpens can be. You got to find guys. They haven't been able to find guys who have slotted into big-time roles and then held the roles too. I mean, Grant Hartwig looks like he could be a piece at some point too. But do you think of him enough in only the few outings that he's had that he's ready to be a high leverage reliever time and time again out of that bullpen? I mean, look, I know that we're going to hear from some of the Mets players, and some of them are going to say the right things, but they got to be thinking to themselves, like, what's next? Who's next? Where can we possibly go? And there's still 60 games or so left in the season. I mean, it's not over, but it's kind of over.
It does feel like this is the first of other moves that could be made. And because of the return, as you were hitting on, it feels like it's just starting to be a bigger part of other prospects that they could be getting, trying to build that farm system.